Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Gray Man Prepping. It is time for Survival Saturday. And tonight's topic we continue with here. Oh, there it comes. After World War III starts, what are your plans? Yes, we are still doing the events. And how's everybody doing out there? All right. So before I get into this, let me go ahead and say hi to everybody because I just saw some of the other ones come in. So first one in was Shady Hill Homestead, then Kaylin Strain, then Vanessa Kitty, and then Diana too. Okay. Oh, I love it. I'm more ogre than troll. My main EverQuest character is a hanging druid, or no, hanging half druid. And truth, goodness, beauty is in here as well. Vanessa Kitty, back prior to my getting married 37 years ago, my nephew, my cousin's son, who was in his senior year, and a bunch of his friends wanted someplace to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I had been fiddling around playing it, but I didn't have anybody to play with. I said, "Yeah, all right, come on over. I got the big loft out in the shop out there. We wound up setting up this huge table up there, and we were playing it. And I pretended I knew absolutely nothing. And they helped me. They said, "Oh, you got to roll this for things." And I had some dice from BattleTech, and I got some very good rolls. Okay, and they go, "All right, what's your character?" Well, you see my character as a Mark just came in here as a just a traveler, kind of roguish, kind of bardish. Turns out my character was actually a steel dragon disguised as a human because he likes humans. And Survival Mountain is here. And let me go ahead and drop something in here for Mark because I know Mark's going to want to come up here. And there we go. All right, there it is. And okay, and so that's for Mark, and then I'll that. All right, so tonight's topic here, and here he is already. Boom! That was quick. So let me go ahead and drop that off of there.
Keep the trolls out.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think Kaylin's up to internet to be able to go try coming up here. So, anyways, so Mike at UK Urban Prepper, World Survivalist, that's Alan, and a couple others have been kicking this around for several months. But I was on my list prior to my taking my little hiatus there because I was ticked off at the platform and I caught them stealing from me. They've been talking about World War III, how it's going to affect the mainland Europe and how it's going to affect England and everything else. And I thought, yeah, well, froze again. Might as well look at it that way here too. And so, so after World War III starts, not completed, just after it kicks off, what are your plans? So that's what the thing is tonight. My connection dies every time I try StreamYard on your phone. Yep. And Aiden is in here. So we're going to go into this. This is going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones. We're going to still have the same follow format as best we can. But So let's go ahead and get in this, guys. So, and I almost forgot. So, warning: possible fantasy fear porn, Kool-Aid drinking zone ahead. Then again, maybe not. But then again, most likely. Okay, causes for World War III. And actually, there could be multiple ones. Man-made on purpose. Gee, who would want to start World War III?
I can't think of anybody.
Oh, I can think of somebody in the Middle East. Several people in the Middle East.
Well, sure, but we won't talk about that here.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit. Someone going rogue and even against their own religion. A group of them going off and start setting stuff off. That's one possibility. Other one, somebody sees a neighboring country as a threat because they are ramping up their military a lot more than they had in the first group had counted on. They're going, oh crap, these guys are getting big. We need to take them out before they get too big for us to take them out.
I think half these wars start because one country starts throwing stones at the other country starts stockpiling stones, and then the country that was throwing stones to begin with says, oh, see, look, they're getting ready to start a war, so let's bomb them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or you got small country A in a conflict with small country B, and they start escalating things really hot and heavy, and then small country A decides to use a tactical nuke, and even though it misses and goes off, then B starts firing two of theirs over at them, and then big country A goes, you can't do that. We're going to come in and stomp you. And then big country's NATO goes, no, you're not. And, I'm going to stomp you too. No, you're not. Yeah. Have you ever a chance to see? I just lost the name now. He does little videos where he shows the maps, and all you see is the eyes and the mouth, and he's pretending to be, Russia, China, the U.S., Mexico, Germany, and other countries having arguments back and forth. And anyways, yeah, one of those type things. They start going back and forth, and all of a sudden, and it gets bigger and escalates, and pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah. One guy throws a pebble, the other guy throws a rock, then they throw a boulder back, and then they throw a tree trunk at him, and then they start shooting arrows at him, then they start shooting guns at him, and then they do missiles. It just goes up. It's like, wait. You threw a pebble at me. I threw a pebble at you, so you should only be able to throw pebbles back at me. Yeah. It's all about the money, I think, but that's another story.
So that's one way on purpose it could start. The other way is by oops, computer error. We thought you guys were launched, so we launched at you. And that's almost happened a couple times. I mean, there's been some quick calls on the phone. We are not launching anything. Send up planes. Check it out. You'll see nothing. Because they all of a sudden getting missiles type thing, sort of like war games. Yeah. Nothing really being launched, but everybody thinks it is being launched. Nature caused, I can't think of anywhere where nature would cause it except to wipe one big country's crops out totally, so they're starving and they only have one recourse, and that is to go after the foods of neighboring countries. Let's see here. Daniel, did I say Daniel's Berry Sports highlight was in here or not? Did he come in earlier? No. Okay, so Daniel Berry Sports truth, goodness, beauty. Yeah, put that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diana says, I think accidental. I think it'll be accidentally on purpose or on purpose and then said, oh, it was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Try to say the accident to stop it from escalating farther than already going.
Yeah.
First round go off.
Oopsies.
Yeah. Oopsie, it was the drunk captain pushed the button. We're sorry. Here, you can have him. Yeah. Anyways, so those are possible things to cause it. Get back here. Mitigation and recovery. Way above our pay grade. All we can do is recovery at a local level here if it affects us. So I just got one picture here to show. It doesn't have to be nuclear. These could be like cruise missile type things where they're just doing, it could stay conventional warfare and not go nuclear. And it could be a really nasty conventional warfare exchange.
Yeah, take out the major cities. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get rid of that.
Let nature take its course after that.
Yeah.
And come in and just take over.
Yeah. So mitigation and recovery type thing. Mitigation is for certain countries to pass laws saying that leaders cannot be in office more than 12 years, period. In fact, all countries that leaders cannot be in office more than 12 years, period. Us, them, everybody.
Yeah, but they have to vote themselves to not be in office for more than 12 years. It's like voting themselves a raise every year.
Yeah. So, that's the only mitigation that could. That's the biggest mitigation, because then if you don't have the same ones in there making all the money from the war machine, they're not going to be so interested in pushing the border, bending the rules, and trying to get the stuff ramping up, even though they don't plan on using it. They just want it to ramp up so they can get their piece of the pie.
Can you imagine if there was a string of nukes along the Mid-Atlantic Ridge? It would pretty much wipe out coastline north and south, only on the Atlantic, but not Russia or China.
Same thing can be said about the Mariana Trench.
Yeah, but that one goes all and that's in the Atlantic, isn't it? Oh, it's in the Pacific. Yeah, well,
the Marianas Islands, the Mariana Trench,
China, Korea, Japan, half the United States, a little chunk of Canada, but and maybe
China.
It'll wrap down around Australia after the tsunami. But yeah, I'd see it more likely for them to do it on the Atlantic, because it only wipes out the whole west coast of Africa and most of Europe that's on the coast.
Now, trying to keep this halfway sane, because I could go totally insane on this. Yeah, hang on. I need to get some water. Sometimes I wish I actually drank sometimes.
I'm drinking my infused water right now.
Yeah. The things that it going off and happening, if it stayed conventional, and would stay conventional all the way to the end, could be along. I don't think it would actually get as bad as World War II, because I think it would go to push, and finally people would go, crap, we're getting to the point we know they're going to use them. So I think they would back after 30, 40 countries are all involved, all of a sudden, time out. At least that's my personal opinion. And my hope, if it ever happens, that comes to resolving on it. Oh, Kaylin's brewing another tea. For those that missed the Shadows, the live with Shadow earlier, yeah, Kaylin was brewing some tea. Swarm drone warfare could escalate into doing. Yeah, that could escalate into doing dialogue, especially if the drones were getting past and hitting behind the lines a bunch. Like, holy crap, we need to stop this because we, the generals, are starting to get hit.
Hey, whatever happened with all those drones flying around in Jersey last year or earlier this year? They just kind of stopped talking about it.
Yeah, I think whoever was doing it got a couple of theirs shot down by some rednecks.
Like, ooh, spare parts. I can work with this.
Or the fact that, they got shot down and the government went swooped in to seize the stuff to see whose drones they were. And realized, holy crap, the hillbillies are here shooting us down.
Yeah.
But so yeah, there could be several things going on that, but here's one of the things I mentioned with you earlier this week or last week or late last week about it. I asked you the question: how many battles in the since 1900 have been fought in the continental United States?
Yeah, none.
None.
Fight a war on everybody else's side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that if World War III were to start, you would see the Navy do some things you haven't seen the Navy do in a long time. And you would see a whole bunch of
New
Air Force stuff being flown across the pond and taking up positions in countries and getting ready to act. Like World War II and World War I, it was not a boom, we're at full business. It took months to ramp up because they were going a little bit here, a little bit there, battles there, stuff.
Had to build the infrastructure and supply lines.
Yes. And we saw what happened in Ukraine with Russia's supply lines at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're going. Wait a minute. What the hell's going on here? How come all our trucks are breaking down? How come they have rotten tires on them? Where was the money for maintenance on it? And a couple of generals disappeared. Russian generals. And one of them, he disappeared, and Russia's going, where the hell is he? So
I'm more worried about these container-based missiles, the Club Ks, that could literally be already sitting all over the country right now in containers, just sitting in storage yards waiting.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, those, if they are nuclear, had to come in prior to 2002.
Yeah, they're probably not nuclear. They could have been brought in as conventional, but I don't know. Maybe somehow converted after they're here.
It could have been, if they were here, they could have been converted to dirty, not nuclear, but just dirty.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, believe it or not, a lot of containers are really tracked. And they went back and were tracking containers. All right, where are all the records from all these imports? Where are these containers? Did they get returned? Did they go back over? There was a bit, Homeland Investigations, come on, brain. Department of Interior, Department of Commerce were all looking for these containers.
Should I be worried about my container parked with my tactical tractor in it?
No, because it's documented where it went to.
Yeah, and it's old.
Yeah, exactly. They know, wait a minute, all right, this one here was sold empty from a container sales place. So it was sold empty.
Yeah.
And they know that. Same thing with my two out here. They know that too. anyone steps, what's it say? Yeah. If anybody steps into U.S. soil or the problem is it depends who they are, because there are a lot coming over from the southern. So when the southern border started getting locked down, they went up through Canada and were coming in and then screaming political refugee.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the demon rat said, okay, yes, you can stay here. Hugs, hugs. Here's lots of money. And by the time they start, somebody else started going, hey, wait a minute. These guys are on our wanted list as terrorists. They're not political refugees. And they're a political refugee from our guys over there going after them. So, and it's, so some of those, they're not, unfortunately, not sending them back fast enough. Of course, they need to pull that one out of Congress and send her butt home. I think, personally, I'm going off on a tangent here, folks. I think just like the president, anyone who is a senator or a representative needs to be a natural born, not a naturalized, a natural born U.S. citizen, and whose parents are here legally.
What about the dual citizens that were born here? There's those. You need to swear your allegiance to this country, but they're dual citizens with other countries, mostly one, and maybe two or three. But yeah, there's dual citizenships, and where they're
if their dual citizenship is on a country that's listed as non-friendly, no.
Well, dual citizen, period. Yeah. When you're in that kind of an office in this country, I think is absolutely unacceptable and a termination offense. Like
there are some that I can see because they're U.S. Ireland or U.S. Scotland or U.S. UK, and it's because of it's an ancestral thing, and they go back to visit ancestral home, but they are totally very, very political U.S. support.
Yeah, but a lot of the ones that are dual, they're pro support for the country, the other country.
Yeah,
and there is that, and we're not going to discuss specifics, but
yeah,
a bunch of us know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's if you have someone in there saying, "Oh, U.S. is bad, this, that, and other," or dual citizens, it's like out. Fine, you're going back. Your U.S. citizenship is revoked. You can, and we're deporting you back to your country of your other citizenship.
We're deporting you and your husband, brother.
Yeah. Wait, you're going to deport him back to West Virginia?
No.
Yeah, that one there. I don't think will be anything like the other two. Tech now probably take down communications, our grid, EMP. Yeah, that's the thing is that's the other part of a World War III is the weapons. It won't be so much bombing factories and everything out of existence. It'll be punk, and this whole area now, all the electronics and electrical stuff has been fried. Now rush everybody that was out in the safe zone up into that area and try to take it over. So
I don't think it's going to be too much of a kinetic war. It's going to be a lot of cyber stuff and misinformation and
yeah. Oh, another commercial. I'm sorry about the commercials. It's like I clicked the thing to do an hour, which means this is only supposed to be an hour long. They could have snuck one in at the beginning, and if they waited an hour, snuck one in at the end, which is why I have that 5-minute countdown, because usually, like on my screen over here, I have those commercials in during that 5-minute countdown time.
Yeah, but they're on to you. So
Yeah. True. Yeah, Kano was absolutely right about that. But yeah, but as far as it, I can see an attack on the U.S. to take out our infrastructure through EMPs to stop us from supplying stuff to our allies over there who are fighting the ones that fighting the. I can see the bad guys trying to take out our infrastructure that way with taking out our electronics and everything else, and disheartening the people, which as opposed to 1941-42 with Pearl Harbor and that, if they take out our internet, unfortunately the youngest 3 generations are going to turn into melting, crying babies here and be so demoralized. Of course, then maybe we can turn that into an anger issue and say, hey, these guys took it away from you. Let's go kick their butts.
Yeah, and we'll give you a free cell phone if you do.
And not only that, we'll give you free internet for life. High speed. Yeah.
You can stream those TikTok kitty videos all day long.
Yeah. Okay, other cyber attacks like denial of service attacks crash the whole system. Yeah. And this is where it gets, which came first, the chicken, the egg, the donkey, or the cart? Are they going to wait? Are they going to wait to do this till a conflict is kicked off? Is it still a regional conflict and not a world conflict? And then they say, "Oh crap, we need to, start causing problems with the U.S. so they can't provide materials to our enemies." But Forrest, what are you? All right, so we've talked about all stuff leading up to. So what would you do if all of a sudden Asia and Europe are in a shooting match, but they haven't gone nuclear?
What should I do? Nothing. I mean, not much I can do.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen over here in the U.S. if they're in a shooting match?
There'll be small scale Soros funded riots everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes those riots are going to turn into have a secondary effect of like the denial of service attacks Kaylin was talking about. It could trigger problems with our infrastructure. Because most people don't realize prior to World War I and prior to World War II, we were kind of had an isolationist policy prior to World War I. And when it got to the point, I'm trying to remember what drug is in. It was a sinking of a cruise ship, I believe it was the main catalyst to get us involved in World War.
Yeah, the Lusitania.
Yes, thank you.
I had to remind. Come on, Boomer.
It was on. I couldn't exactly remember what it was, but there were a couple other things. There was like a couple dominoes. And they were knocking things down. And when that one fell, then it ticked everybody off. And they say, yes, go get them. But, hey, Diggs, how's it going? But after World War I, we started pulling back, being isolationists again. Oh, we don't want a strong military. We don't want this. If we have a strong military, we'll become a target, blah, 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 blah. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then it took Japan being stupid and ignoring 2 of their generals who said, no, don't attack them. You will wake the sleeping giant. I've been there. I've seen their industrial might. They can ramp up faster than we could ever friggin' possibly imagine. And the one admiral said, "Oh, I will do it. It will totally demoralize them. They have no, or will be totally, oh no, we want peace, and we'll get what we want." Yeah, they FAFO'd, fooled around and found out the hard way. But so and that's why we did not join the European war until Japan attacked us, because so many people had the and of course the great American dictator FDR was in his fireside chats. Oh, it's not concerned. I thought was talking in two different directions at once. To the public, he was talking one thing. To the industrial complex, he was talking another. And he was building up. He was having them build up for war because, hey, when did we develop the flying fortress, the B-17?
Right before World War II.
Way before World War II. Hang on, let me double check it. B-17D development. The prototype was flying in 1935. Yeah, early. And several of the others, the Mitchell bombers, Mitchell bombers even earlier. That was in I think 31. So, during the Depression, we were building a lot of stuff. And when were the big four? Missouri, Wisconsin, stuff. When were they starting? When were they being designed? They were being designed before the war as well. Yeah, it went to full production in 37, but the prototype flew in 35. So, yeah, and so these things were, so Roosevelt was preparing for war, and then of course some stuff we were developing was that we were not fighting, we were just sending planes and stuff over. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that was on ships got sunk by the Nazis, but it was merchant marines, it was merchant ships, so it wasn't enough to rattle the public. Glenn's in the house. How to garden? Woohoo! And so it took, for us to get involved, it took us 5 years longer than what a lot of congressmen and stuff wanted us to get in there and stop it sooner. But so if something happened for World War III, it ain't going to be, it's going to be a slow roll build up to it. Small conflict here, regional conflict there. This one gets worse. That one gets worse. This, and it just starts getting worse and worse and worse. And one group rolls in. The thing is, it might not be Europe and Russia. It could be start out as an Asian war. Someone going down into India or Pakistan, down, that area down there could start kicking it off first. And when a certain country goes to another country, then the Europeans are going to go across. Yeah. And so, yeah, there's different ways of doing it. But what would we do? Like if something like that kicks off, it's going to be like, okay, I am definitely getting more solar panels, and the wife is, if it happens before she makes the decision, she's going to make the decision right then, or tell her, I'm making a decision. I'm putting up the panels where I want them put up at. And there'll be other things that I will be doing too that I've been slow rolling because I want her to help make the decision and not just dictate it to my wife. And so for me, it's going to be, there's going to be, all right, sorry, we're taking it out of second gear. I'm putting it into fifth and shoving the brownie from direct to overdrive. And, and then I will drop more money on canning, a lot more canning jars. I will start going, I'll be getting a lot more stuff going on and getting things done. And one of the other things will be was like, oh, sorry, we're getting a bigger tractor. We're selling the house in Martinez. We're moving the boys up here, and we're going to use a lot of that money to get stuff. And anything over our non-taxable deductible is going to go into a retirement trust investment account. And there's ways you can start using stuff to, it's going to invest in a rental equipment, which is going to buy equipment for our place, and we'll rent it from it for $1 a year or whatever. That way it doesn't get taxed on, and then it's a big write-off for that other company, an LLC that it is owned by another trust. Anyways, yeah. So there'll be ways to get all the money almost totally tax-free out of it. And we're going to be buying equipment and we're going to be getting stuff done. Yeah, so if it kicks off and it turns into a major shooting battle between not just Russia and Ukraine or Croatia and so-and-so or whoever, but when it turns into a big shooting match, yeah, you're going to, there'll be signs around here as far as what we're getting. And there will be increases here. But for anybody that's thinking about getting into canning, if something like that kicks off, yeah, you better drop some money on a good all-American canner. And
or Presto and a whole bunch of extra gaskets.
Yes, exactly. And the Presto gaskets, they come dry. But if you get glycerin and rub them down and then vacuum seal them, they won't dry out and crack. It'll take like 10 times as long for them to dry out and crack.
Yeah, that or the food grade silicone lubricant.
Yeah, but something to keep it from drying out, and then vacuum seal the snot out of it.
Yep.
You can get a Presto for. We looked it up on Monday. It's on Monday's live stream.
Yeah, they're around $100 now for a Presto.
It was like 138, I think it was.
Yeah.
For the 21 quart one.
The small one is going for like 300 and change. The big one's up to $5. The two I have are $500 a pop now or more.
The one I want to get is okay. It was down to $835.
Yeah, the massive one. Do you have
the 41.5 quart?
You'd be better off getting two 930s.
Well, I want to make sure I can put the half gallon, because the half gallon jars will not fit in the 30s.
Yeah,
They're too tall. It does? The half
930? You're thinking of 925.
Okay.
That's the one. 925s, you can single stack quarts or double pints. Mine, I could triple stack pints.
Okay.
I don't know how many half gallons. You probably only get two in there at a time, but
yeah.
You know what? I have some half gallon jars, new ones. I should, and all my canners are cleaned out now, so I should just see how many half gallon jars would fit in there and take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah, because I thought the 41 quart would do 5 half gallon jars.
It might, but your times are all out of whack then with half gallons versus quarts. So that's a crapshoot on you then.
Yeah. But yeah, so there would be things that I would want to do to really it depends how fast it comes in.
If it comes in, it could be another 9/11
Yeah.
style thing somewhere else in the country.
Yeah. That's just Diana saying here. They would be immersed in many battles on home soil. If there are warning attacks on mid-sized cities, think about natural disasters. Can't respond all at once. However,
I don't think of all the
we do have 2 secret weapons here for stuff happening on U.S. soil.
Yeah, armed citizens
Across the United States, and then we have the special forces, and it's going to be like it's going to look like NASCAR response from all the rednecks to the hot spot. By the time the Marines show up, all they're going to see is shotgun shells and beer bottles, and all the guys sitting around. Hey guys, battle's over.
Yeah,
there'll be no enemy survivors.
We took care of it. We just don't have any body bags, so maybe send that group over. I always think about the millions of military-aged men that were flooding across the borders and getting flown in for the last 4 years that disappeared into the country, never to be seen again.
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to need to do as individuals, not necessarily to survive, but to still keep thriving during it. My grandmother said that during World War II, my aunt and my mom suddenly were making a lot more money than they were before, because my mom was working at the Lockheed plant in Burbank, and I forget what she said my aunt was working at, but she went her income tripled when she worked for the defense one of the defense contractors. And my grandmother said she made a boatload of money on real estate when it kicked off.
Yeah, one thing to watch for is all the military industrial complex stocks. If they just start going up all of a sudden, that means they got all kinds of contracts we didn't hear about. And then worry.
Yeah.
Or buy the stock. Try to make a buck off of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But right at the start, not knowing where they're going, doing that several months of roll up, like I was talking about, for to build up, if everyone's saying, okay, it's going, they're doing that. Oh, we're trying to stay out of it, back and forth and everything else. There are things that's kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of like an Easter egg, but that's not the word. I need to be doing stuff. It's wake up time. Some of the stuff to think about getting is going to be garden tools and garden equipment, stockpiling seeds.
That's assuming you live in an area that you can do that.
Yeah.
If you're in a city, I don't think somebody living on the 30th floor in an apartment building in Brooklyn is going to go out and buy 27 different hand tools to garden with.
Right. But some people in a big apartments and stuff like that, what can they get?
Food.
Well, they can get food and supplies like Kaylin's doing, but they can also get Jujubee does. I think she has now 10 of the Aero Gardens.
Yeah.
And
well, you need electric for that. So depending on what happens, if you have no electric, your Aero Gardens are done.
Yeah. It depends on what you're going to do. There are, different things you can do. Right now, shoot, and then tomorrow I'm going to try to get a video done on what's going on in my living room. So I got an orange tree in a 15-gallon pot sitting in front of the window, one of the south-facing windows, and I just got a couple of the grow lights on it. I got a Mylar blanket wrapped around it to reflect the sunlight back at the backside of the plant as well. And I got I got 10. I think I got 10 oranges on it right now. And, I wasn't even thinking it was going to get fruit on it for another year and a half. And I got oranges growing on it. So you can grow food indoors without, it would be growing a little bit slower like Howie's grows. Howie's doesn't have to have special lights on his, and his is a lot bigger. But he also has bigger windows. So there's things you can do to get stuff going. If you have land of any type, I would be going to a nursery. I wouldn't be buying the 5-gallon buckets. I'd be buying the 10 or 15-gallon bucket plants.
Depending on your zone and what kind of tree, and know what kind of trees need more than one. Like if you buy a pear tree, you need 2.
Well, it depends. And like the pear trees I got, was the pears? One of the trees, it just needed another pear tree of the same variety. Some of them want of a different variety.
Right.
So like my apricots, I have the come on, Brain. I have the Montrose and the Mormon apricots.
Do those live outside?
Those are outside.
Okay.
And they were friggin' loaded. This
Nice.
was the second. I planted them in the middle of summer last year, and this year they were loaded, and they just went absolutely bonkers. They grew like I didn't think they would grow that much in 2 years, and they grew that much in 3 months this summer.
Yeah, so I want to do a whole lot of fruit trees out there at the property.
Yeah. For the peaches, I have the Red Haven and the Alberta. And the Alberta, man, that sucker quintupled in size. It just huge compared to what it was at the beginning of spring.
Must be good soil. And also know that peach trees have a taproot that goes straight down for the most part. So you can't plant it in 6 inches of good topsoil with solid clay under it or rocks.
Yeah.
It'll barely grow.
Yeah. Where they're planted, I had the soil and the lawn down there and was fertilizing it good and stuff, spraying manure on and everything else. And when I decided to extend that, I brought in topsoil from where a farm had been converted to a housing tract, and they cleaned out a bunch of dirt.
Oh yeah, they always strip the soil off, sell it, and then throw grass seed and hay on top of clay and call it a lawn. Yeah.
And so, so that was like about 20 inches of soil I brought in there for it.
Cool.
So, and that's where those trees went nuts. The pear trees only doubled in size, and then the cherry trees went up by 50%. Apple trees went up by 50%, but next year the apple trees should take off a little bit better because that's the way ours did in California. The first year, but yeah. But that's the thing is, if you have land,
plant.
Seriously, if you have a shade tree in the backyard, cut that sucker down and plant some fruit trees.
Something.
Because we have, in our backyard in California, our shade spot is underneath the Granny Smith and the Fuji apple trees. And we planted those. We planted it on raised soil there, compacted it first. We ran the fiber plate across it, get it all level and everything, dug the hole out, planted the trees, packed that around it, laid weed blocker down, laid 3/4 of an inch of sand out there, put pavers all over it, put sand on top of the pavers, vibrated on top of that, so all the stuff went down through it. So it's a nice brick, big pavers, out there, and it's nice and cool, and those trees are just going friggin' nuts. And my wife,
too bad you can't have those dug up and transported up. You could be cost prohibitive.
We would lose we'd lose more than half the roots.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there are things you can do if you're in a warmer zone, California, Gulf states. Citrus, vitamin C is always good. Lemons are great for preserving. Lemon juice is great for preserving stuff. And a lemon juice was actually used as a bleach before chemical bleach was around. That's how they'd whiten.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's high acid.
Yep. And so that's what they use for whitening linens and stuff. Other things, you would need, if something like this happens, my thing is kick it in gear. Get it going. Yeah. Right now, if we were to start going to if a war like that was kicking off and involved certain groups here, the one party would be really ticked off because the agencies would go whole hog out after the ones that came in and were allowed to disperse through the country, and they'd be hunting them down like you would not believe.
You mean the ones that came over here illegally?
Yes, and the ones that came over legally as refugees and then disappeared.
All the military age ones, those.
Yeah,
they're children. No, they're not. They're 16 to 24-year-olds.
Yeah,
with no wife, no kids, no nothing. Yeah.
So, there are things that are going to happen here, and you look for these things happening, and you need to not react, you need to act accordingly.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you still need to be reactive, but be more proactive.
Yeah. You're going to react by you're gonna react by speeding up the timeline of your preps. Yeah, and those people are here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
pretty much.
But some of the things that I would say, if you have land to invest in, is besides you get your fruit trees and everything else. And especially if you're in a place where you don't get snow or you get very little snow during the year, solar, yeah, absolutely. And in the meantime, after a while, you can start. If you're in an area like California, it says you have to stay on the grid. Fine. All the breakers are going to be changed over to solar, and one breaker that runs a TV is the only thing that's going to be on the grid.
Oh, they'll catch
How come your bill so? How come your bill so low? We decided we decided to go to we got use oil lamps, and we're washing clothes by hand. And
your carbon tax footprint is going to go up. I just buy lots of batteries now at Lowe's. That's all I do. I use flashlights everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So think about what you would do. What's your plan if all of a sudden this starts happening? What is the first thing you want to do? The second thing, sometimes your most prioritized thing, top of your priority, is not going to be the first thing you do, because you got a couple other things in line first to support that.
Well, first thing you got to do is assess what's going on, where, how it's going to affect you, and what now you need to refocus on.
Yeah. The one of the things to look for is sustainability for food and warmth and stuff. My wife has been making quilts. I mean, she just loves making quilts, and it's like pretty soon the grandkids are going to have 4 quilts on their beds. We're going to have a couple quilts on our bed, and we'll have a bunch of wall hanging quilts too, which means, oh, okay, it's wintertime. Let's hang these quilts up over the front windows behind the blackout curtains to keep it out.
Keep it warm in here. Yeah. Quilted curtains. Yeah.
What did I do when I heard about 9/11? We were talking about things we were going to do, and then a friend of mine called me and said, hey, we're setting up a new agency called Homeland Security. I want you to come in and help us set it up. And that's when I went to work at Homeland Security. At the time, I was head of security at Chevron Texaco's corporate headquarters. So it's like, and so basically I was working both for about 2 months. I was training my replacements at Chevron Texaco while I was working on Homeland Security. And then once my replacements at Chevron Texaco were trained, then I was putting in 12 to 16 hours for Homeland Security for the first year and a half. Oh, I don't miss those days. Oh man. I love the paychecks. Oh boy, did I love the paychecks.
Of course you did.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, so there were, things went up on that. My wife started getting more into the garden stuff. So more garden stuff went in. More the citrus tree. We got citrus trees, put those in. So there was 3 orange trees, 2 apricot trees, a mandarin orange tree, a navel orange tree, and I forget the other type of one that I had that my mom had that is now, it's the best tasting orange tree ever. I can't remember what type it is, but Meyer lemon. There was another lemon she got. Peach trees, 2 cherry trees. Those all went in a matter of 3 months. Prep the soil on my on the weekend days I wasn't working, and she was out there, and we got it, and we started getting stuff. But yeah, a lot of stuff went in there. We at first she wanted to get a walnut tree. I go, there's walnut trees across the street along the ditch. We need walnuts. We can go over there and we can pick walnuts and fight the squirrels for them. About the same time, she suddenly couldn't eat almonds anymore. I still say it was something that was being sprayed on the almond trees.
Probably.
Yeah. And same thing with the macadamia nuts. But, we were thinking about getting almond trees, and she was thinking about getting date trees. And date trees is more Southern California than Northern California. But we got a bunch of what we have, and that's I also bought her the 21 quart All-American, and then I got the parts for the Presto, for the 21 quart Presto. But yeah, that we increased. We stockpiled a bunch of jars at that time, about 20 cases of them, and just started getting stuff. So that's what we did after 9/11. Although I did pick up another Pew Pew Long to have in the house, and I got it with the. This was before the Demon Rat said, "Oh, you can't have more than 5 shots." So I went and bought the since they weren't tracking the extra magazines, I was able to get larger magazines. And there's no record of me getting those magazines because I paid cash for them. And now they're all up here, except for the bolt action is still down there, and the bolt action has a 25 shot magazine on it, but it's bolt action, not semi-automatic, so it's legal. But yeah, and that's the other thing too. During that time frame, we started my daughter went into Camp Concord during the summertime to learn some more survival stuff and camping stuff and everything else. The boys were going into Cub Scouts, and they were at the age that I felt they were old enough for us to take them to the gun range. And so the youngest one was 6, and he learned to shoot 22 rifle. The other one was 8, and he was shooting. And Megan was 6, 9, 13, and she was learning to shoot. Of course, and that's also when she developed her taste for swords and knives, which is really funny because she was the captain of her first year at BYU, Idaho. She became the second semester of the first year. She became captain of the fencing club. So anybody wants to find out what it's like to be stuck with an epee, go ahead and break into my daughter's house.
Nah, no. I'm good. I'll stick to the dumpsters.
Yeah. Hey, Howie, how's it going?
What's up, Howie?
Oh, okay. Kaylin's comment. She worked at Walgreens at the time. The store that day, the store went crazy. Yep. Yeah. There were certain things my wife and I had already talked about. All right, we need to get more of these things. You know, we started buying those things during the in the first month or so, you know, following. But it wasn't panic buying because we'd all say we need this, we need that, we need that. As we set money aside, we get it. And so yeah, it's like, okay, some of the savings we need to spend it now, get some of the stuff now while we can. Yeah. And that's the thing. Something you may want to consider getting now before then. Some nice, if you have property, is getting the walkway, rechargeable walkway lights, you know, solar powered. If you have a balcony in your apartment and it gets enough light to charge up some of those, get some of those too. You get also you'll find out most of those rechargeable solar walkway lights are 1.2 volts, not 1.5. You can get 1.5. You can get all the 1.2s you want on Amazon. You got to look for the 1.5s on Amazon.
Oh, the rechargeable batteries.
Rechargeable batteries, yeah. Okay. And those, the 1.5s have like the milliamp rating on it is like 2 or 3 times of the 1.2. So time to get some of those. Interesting thing about lights, like there was a cheap one that was on the corner fence post across the street when we bought the house in 2016. It's still out there and it still lights up.
Yeah, because the glazing over the solar panel is made of glass, not plastic, which the ones I have, they're plastic. And within 2 years, they fade out from just sunlight bleaching them out, and they're worthless. And then they leak, and then they're crap. So that's 99% of the ones out there now are like that. You almost need to do a small solar panel standalone on a post with the battery back up there and run the wires to all your little solar lights. You have a better chance on that.
Yeah. Yeah. So even if you, all right, all right. So I got to get the video done in the kitchen here. So I got the Upus Mega 2 with the extra batteries on it.
How many watts is that?
That's a
what's the main unit, like 2,000 watts or
3,000? It's more than it. Hang on, let me look at it here. I'll just bring it up here. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, where's the Mega 2? All right. Oh, by the way, Upus just released their Guardian 6000. It's a 6,000 watt inverter on it. If you get two of them, no, actually you don't need two of them because it's got 120 and 240 on it already. That's
right, single phase. Yeah.
No, dual 240.
No, 240 single phase, not three phase, obviously.
Yeah, not three phase. So that's this one here. That's under $4,000. You got a battery on it and 6,000 watt, and it's got buku hours on it. But on this one, you can actually put 8 of the expandable batteries on it. Yeah.
At what, $1,500 a pop?
Something like that. But it also lasts friggin' forever. I don't have the Mega 5. I got the Mega 2. Where's the Mega 2? Mega 3. The Mega 3 is a 3,600 watts. So the Mega 2 is a 2,400 watt. It's going back over stuff. Oh, yeah. So, no. I have the Mega 2, which is 2,400 watt with the two batteries. I got 3 batteries in there.
What are the batteries? Like 1,000 watts each or 2,000 watts each?
No, let me go ahead and do it this way here.
Why don't you just search for the Upus Omega 2 or 3 or whatever?
Because I got power stations. That's the 6,000 watt one. The So the Opus the B2 battery for the Mega 2 is a 2,048 watt hour battery. The Mega 2 itself has a 2,500 watt inverter with the same size battery in it, the 2,400 watt battery in it. Using it here, price drops it's only 29%. I'll buy an extra battery when it drops to 50% off, which it does 3 times a year or so. But anyways, so what I run the toaster, the microwave, the chest freezer, and the refrigerator on it right now. And with so I got 2 batteries in the main unit, so 2 expansion batteries. The main unit drops a little bit more than the first battery, and it drops just a little bit more than the second battery. So using it from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m., the main unit says it's down to 86%. The first battery in line is down to 91%, and the second battery is down to 93% every day. And so within 40 minutes, all 3 are fully charged again. And when after 11 o'clock, the timer kicks on and says, okay, it pulls the power off the grid because we're on a cheaper power, and it pulls it up. As soon as I get the solar panels put on, and get so because you can be both plugged in and on solar. It'll pull solar first, so long as solar's putting out a certain amount, and then it'll pull from power. But during the time it's being used, which is right now it's 6 to 9 o'clock in the morning, sun comes up at 7. It's, I'd have 2 hours of charging on there. And so when it reached 9 o'clock, it would be at full charged. And in the evening, it would right now I'm only getting an hour and 15 minutes of sun. But come summertime, it shifts from the 6 to 9 in the morning, shifts to 3 to starts at 3 o'clock and goes to 11 o'clock. So you got all 8 hours in the evening. And so it doesn't get dark here till like 9:30. So I'd have from 3 to 9:30 on solar, and I'd only have an hour and a half that it's drawing down, and I would not have to plug it in. I mean, have it charge off the power, because in the morning it's going to charge it back up to full again, because it'll be fully charged in 4 hours of sunlight. So
how many solar panels are you putting in? Like 1,000 watts worth or 2,000?
All right. So the solar, power stations work differently now. So I can put on it each because I got the Mega 2 and the B2 batteries, because I can put solar into the batteries themselves. So I have one panel system into one battery, one panel system in the next battery, and one panel system into the main unit. Each of those can do can do 12 to 60. No, 12 to 60 volts
input. Okay. No, I'm asking how many watts of solar panels.
Yeah. I'm saying it changes. If I'm doing 12 volts.
No, that's not the question. I have four solar panels at my cabin. It's 100 watts between the four of them. How many watts of solar panels are you putting out in your yard? It doesn't matter what you're charging.
It does. It actually does. And let me explain it real quick here. So if I do 12 volts, I can only put, I can put, trying to remember what it is. Okay. So I can put 600 watts of input. 600 watts of input. Okay. If I do 12 volts, that's six panels. That's 6 panels. If I take 6 panels and 6 panels and 6 panels and 6 panels and hook it up so it is in series and
I get it
parallel, I'd have 1,200 watts of panels out there.
The watts, okay. So a panel is rated at a watt, right? So how many panels are you putting up and how many watts, regardless of the voltage? Yeah. I'm just asking a basic question.
Well,
how
many
watts are the panels? I can buy a 4,000 watt solar array, and it's whatever the voltage is, doesn't matter. It's 4,000 watts. It's how fast it charges my batteries is a different question. Yeah. How many watts of panels do you have to put up? Any yet or not yet?
Right now, I have 2,100 watts of panels I can put on it.
That's all I'm asking.
But I got it. But I got to wire it. I got to wire it at 60 volts, not 12 volts.
Yeah. Well, your watts are still the same. The volts are just higher.
Yeah. And the
amps go down or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. But doing it that way, changing it up. So yeah, I can do it so it'll charge up fast and be at so when the sun goes down, it's at full charge for the next hour and a half to 2 hours of usage. And during the first 2 hours in the morning, it's charged back up again. The first 2 hours.
I was just wondering how many watts of solar panel. You're not putting up like a single 25 watt panel.
That's no.
Well, that's why I said how many watts of panels you're putting up. I understand the rest of it. Maybe nobody else does, but
yeah. That's why I make sure everybody understands that, if I just do 12 volt panels, I do this. Now, I can get 40. Now, I could go out and buy the 48 volt bifacial panels, and then I could put 3 on each of them, because I think they are 200 watts each. But it's like, I already got these others a lot cheaper, and they're good, and they're ready. You're ready to go. They've were out being used for about a year and a half, and they've been in storage since then. So they're still got another 8-9 years on them. So that'd be the other thing I would do. I would be buying extra panels just for storage, because I know panels don't last forever.
No. And what do the panels, like the panels I got at Harbor Freight? Yeah, that's what I got. They will actually throw out wattage on a cloudy day. Yeah. They don't need direct sunlight like some of these other ones. If you don't have direct sunlight, or you have my Jackery panels, they don't do, if they're in the shade, they do nothing.
Yeah.
And there's solar, whatever, the Amphoris, or there's two or three different types of panels out there. But the ones I got from Harbor Freight, I couldn't believe it. We opened the box up in the store, and the charge light came on with fluorescent lighting. I'm like, okay, that's weird, but okay.
Yeah, those are the
monocrystalline solid. They're the glass ones.
Yeah, yeah. So you got the mono, not the poly, but the ones they used to sell there were the I always mispronounce it,
Amphoris,
yeah, Amphoric, whatever. The Ampho ones have a longer life on it.
Right.
And you can put your hand over part of it and it will still
same with the ones I have now. Like I said, they're in the shade. If they're in bright sunlight, they got 100 watts coming out of it, or 99. If I put a hand over an edge of it, it only drops down a couple watts. But if I do that to my Jackeries, put my hand, or a leaf is cast in the shadow, it drops it down like 90%.
Yeah. And but those were the ones that dropped that, the poly whatever ones were listed as the had the longer life on it,
right?
The longest life, and had the greatest efficiency on it until it got dirty or something blocked it.
Right. Yeah. As soon as I got a little dirt soil on there, and I go out and clean mine when I go out there. Went out there in the spring, and the panels were it was just pollen from rain and stuff sticking on it. And they were still, the 100 watt of panels was still putting out 70 watts in full sun. Yeah. And they were just dirty. I'm like, okay, so I cleaned them, boop, right up to 100. Then one of the panels blew out on me. I think water got into it, because I go out there and I always check the little green lights on it, and one was not lit. So I just disconnected it out of the system. So I'm only running on 75 watts now to keep my battery surface charged out there the whole time. But I got a whole other set in a box, and I might buy another set and then bring one of the panels back and say it doesn't work, and they'll give me another panel.
But going back to part of the question, what am I going to do? One of the things, like I said, if it starts ramping up to going to turn into a world war, it's going to be we're selling the Martinez property ASAP and getting that money up here and buying stuff as much as we can, and what we have to pay taxes on is going to go into a retirement account, tax-free retirement account, investment account, so we can invest in our own little business as well, and that way we can invest in it, but it's got to show some returns, not a lot, just show returns every year. But that's one of the things would be happening right away. Would probably wind up building a big wall of peony across the street so we can raise vegetables year round. And we make put some like the guy up in there in Kansas with his wall of peony. He has a banana tree in it. He has orange trees in it and lemon trees.
Where's your water table up there? Is it high?
Yes and no. Where we put the wall of peony at, we would have to dig down 15 feet to hit the water table. During the summer, when all the irrigation ditches are full of water. In the wintertime, it's down lower.
Oh, okay.
So but we'd only be Nebraska. Right, Kaylin? Yeah, Nebraska. What'd I say? Can't remember.
Kansas or something. Whatever. Yeah.
He's Nebraska, not Kansas. He's the postal worker. Has a really cool thing. Anyways, we'd have one put that in, and then we would probably get either goats or sheep. Go ahead and get those. Spend the money, get everything on across the street there, in the it's outside the house area yard, producing. And we spend more time getting it going and producing. We would get an on-site 3,000-gallon propane tank for the heater for the Wallapini, so we can run other equipment that would run on propane if all of a sudden gasoline becomes a shortage.
But you still got to be able to get propane delivered at that point too. So that's its own issue. But yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if we have that, propane does not go bad.
No.
So, but we would have the because I already got a dual fuel. I got the tri-fuel generator here. We didn't get a dual fuel that'd be gas and propane for the house across the street as well, just in case there's power problems. But there are so many things that are or not could impact, and that's some of the things we'd have to sit down and talk out and say, okay, this is the problem. This is what's going to happen. This may happen, and this probably will happen, and figure out and categorize what we need to do. But once we sell the house in California, then we would get everything here going to try to be as sustainable as possible, and get stuff going so we can actually get everything done, raise the food, and actually live totally as much 99% off the land. Yeah, we'd still need to go to the dairy to get milk, but we might have to stockpile buy wheat and make our ancient grains so we can make the bread and stuff. But if we get sheep and stuff and some cows over there, oh, all right, we need one cow for 2 years worth of meat, and one sheep for 2 years worth of meat, because we don't eat lamb that much. And raise several cows.
Shear them and teach your wife how to run a spinning wheel, and she can knit lots of quilts.
Well, it's cheaper just to have someone come in, but they'll come in, shear the sheep, weigh it, pay us a certain amount, and then they deal with all the rest of it. But get a couple cows and we have more than what we need. It's like, all right, sell one of the cows, for beef, and just raise more cows and use the land to keep raising them. Because Brandon was running 8 cows on this side, on this property, and had 32 cows over on the other side. And he wasn't feeding the ones over there at all. He was feeding the ones over here partially a little bit. He's having them graze over here. But, we have property, so we would be, trying to get totally off grid as much as possible. And of course, we'd probably go ahead and get one of the larger systems like that new 6,000, or get the Pecron 3,600 watt double system with batteries on it. The only thing we have here now that is 240 volt is the BuzzBox welder. Everything else here is 120 volts.
You can get 110 volt or 120 volt
BuzzBox
portable MIG. Yeah,
portable MIG or portable TIG.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we could, we get like get the 3600 watt um, Pecron with 4 batteries. Put that in the shop. Put another one. Put another one in the house here, and still keep the other one in here too. And then the one would just run the refrigerator. The smaller one, the Mega 2 we have would run through what it's doing right now all the time, and the other one would run all the lights, the computers, and everything else. And then we'd be off grid.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's one. Yeah, rye barley grains and stuff. There are certain things that you can do with the sheep around. The sheep love clover. Sheep love clover. The bees love clover. The sheep will eat the barley. I'm not sure about the rye. Yeah, so and there are certain things we do, and what we could with our retirement incomes and our investment incomes paying out, we could buy some things that we don't want to grow here, and we sell a beef cow or sell some sheep or goats, whatever, and raise them and sell them, and then we could buy the grains and stuff we want for for making the tortillas and homemade bread. So there's possibilities. That would be something that would push us into the total self-sufficiency. But yeah, and of course the other things we were going to have to buy: toilet paper, paper towels.
Get a bidet.
Still going to get toilet paper, but then there would be a few of the pew-pews and a lot of the freedom seeds, because we'll be spending a lot more time at the gun range. Everybody in the family would be.
You don't need toilet paper. You need rabbits. You ever hear the joke? Bear and rabbit pooping in the woods together. Bear looks at the rabbit and says, "Do you ever have a problem with poop sticking in your fur?" The rabbit says, "No." Bear picked up the rabbit and wiped his butt.
Yeah. But there are a lot of things that we could do. Speaking of rabbits, the previous maintenance guy for the city raised and sold rabbits, and he passed away a month ago.
Hutches are going up for sale.
So his daughter and son-in-law and his wife may or may not keep doing some rabbits, but I definitely know they're going to downscale. So that's the thing. It's just like raise rabbits and put it on marketplace, saying, "Hey, rabbits, meat rabbits for sale."
Yeah, it's still alive. You got to do it yourself.
Yeah, you bring your cage, take them home, fatten them up a little bit more if you want, and yeah. But one of the things we want to do also across the street is you're going to put clover in and alfalfa in and oat hay in. And then if we get the cattle, we will rotate them between areas so they can eat stuff, and then done with it. But
run around and pick up the piles of fertilizer and put them on your fruit trees.
No. That would be from the chickens and the rabbits in the cages. The stuff out in the field there, we're going to leave the fertilizer stuff out there and let it be regenerative farming.
Yep.
That's why you move them from space to space, and you go in there and you run like a thatcher through the area, and it spreads the manure around, and then the stuff starts growing again because it's not being munched down so low. Yeah. But as far, most people, I don't know how many people in here own land or are in the process. And when I say own land, you own it outright. You're buying the land, you're there living it, you're paying on it and stuff. You're still paying for it. And those that are renting land, Depends on what sort of rental agreement you got with it, what you can do with the land there. Some people, like Kaylin, are in an apartment. They're limited by what they can do. But there are, things to look into, options and stuff to do stuff. Is you got to figure out what you're willing to put into time for, and the work for to get done for your situation. If you see WW3, it's going to be, there will be some people shouting, "Oh, we need to do victory gardens again. We need to do this." And other ones go, "Yeah, we've got good farming. We don't need to do that."
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah. So there are things to do to get that you need to think about now. The possibility of World War III is not high on my list, but I have a plan for it just in case. There are things we are going, if it does kick off, there are things we're going to do fairly quick before it really kicks off. Yeah. One of the things that we will be doing will be having the grandsons work the property for pay, and that money goes in, will be credited to their college accounts or trade school accounts. But like the properties we place into investment trusts, so we can write any improvements to the property off as the for the improvement of the properties for quote resale at a future time, and those investments then come off the profits of what we paid for. What we got for when we sold the property in California. Yeah, the thing is, though, we do not have a draft. Or did they sneak one in again?
No, you don't need a draft. If we're in World War III, and I think she's kind of right there. That it's all cyber crap. It's not kinetic.
Yeah,
you're thinking pure kinetic. We have a kinetic war. Need a draft. We need more people to go die for our country.
Yeah. The as far as being a world being that right now is, I don't think it's escalated to call it that, because I think you have to have a certain number of countries involved in it for it to be considered a WW. If it's just regional conflicts, I don't call that that type of. I don't call that a WW. If there's a problem between us and China, that's not a WW. That's one-on-one.
As soon as India or Korea gets involved with China, then it kind of goes that way.
It can go that way real quick, but it's going to take a while for it to ramp up to start going quick. It's like the roller coaster. We're going up. We're going up. We're going up. Boom! But it's that going up stage is what I consider the kickoff. All right, we see it. It's coming. It's happening. These guys are fighting here. These guys are fighting over there. These guys are doing that. These guys are, totally saying they're out of it. So yeah, there were people were surprised how many countries were totally not involved in WW1 or WW2. And the only way they were involved in is we support them philosophically. Anybody from your guys come to our country, we'll arrest them. From the Axis come here, we'll arrest you. Yeah, there are still ones that are just, local conflicts. And some of those local conflicts will go on for years.
And they call it a war.
Yeah, but it's not a WW.
Whatever.
It's just it's an RW, regional war. Yeah.
I'm just going to focus on what I can do for me and the family, and
that's the point. What is your plans for you?
Oh, my plans haven't changed, and they may have to change, but until then, I don't know what I will do based on the whatever happens circumstances that arise.
Yeah.
So right now, not much I can do except to continue along and do what I do, and
and keep improving,
keep improving things, and yeah.
It's like you say, you're going to be so this summer, are you going to plant trees out there on your?
Mm-hmm. I'm planning on it. I wanted to do it last year, but I didn't get around to it.
Yeah.
This coming year, that's part of my plan. I know there's a nursery up in PA that sells all kinds of really good fruit trees. They're not cheap, but I got the trailer, so I can go pick up a dozen fruit trees and a whole bunch of fencing to put around it so the deer don't chew them down.
Yeah.
And I just need 5 foot or 55 inch cattle anti-climb panel fence, which I have in my backyard, and use that and just put 8-foot rings around it just to keep the deer away from it.
I saw something that anybody's going to be doing what Mark's doing, where you're going to plant something where deer are out and stuff. I saw this really cool thing. They got a let's see if I can find this here. Fencing. Fence. There we go. What they did was, so they had planted the tree. They figured out, they took a cow panel, bent it around, they didn't wire it, they used special clips that clamp it and basically turned it in. And then they spray painted it, put posts in, and hung the panel on the insulators, something like.
Oh, yeah.
So
it electrified it. Yeah.
And it electrified the panel that's 6 inches off the ground. And when the deer or cows came up to it and bumped it anywhere on it, they got zapped. And because of the size of it wasn't enough room for the deer. Goes, I can't jump in there without getting hurt. So the deer stayed away from it.
I don't think I'm going to invest in solar powered fence panel, electrified fence stuff at this point. I'm just going to put some fence around it. Yes, I'll probably lift it up a few inches off the ground to get a little more height, but they're only going to be about 6 feet in diameter, enough so, maybe in a year they might be able to nibble on the buds that are near the edge.
Yeah.
But hopefully by then they'll be getting bigger. I could trim them and just redo my fence lines.
Yeah. So here's a solar one for $110.
Yeah.
So, and you put it out there, you just run stuff out to several of the trees off of it. Mm-hmm. And you got several of them out there, and they're zapping the snot out of it. Howie says your feet are over 6 feet. The deer won't be able to eat them.
I've seen deer stand up on their hind legs and nibble. They're not going to eat the top ones, but small trees, they will.
Yeah, over here, the apple trees that were over here, they decimated the apple trees, and they were like 15 feet tall, but in climbing, trying to do it, they just scored the bark and killed the branches. And these were branches. And they killed the trees over there doing that. And so the over here for mine, I put the electric fence around my orchard this summer. Deer didn't come in after mine. They couldn't get to it. My daughter has a couple of apple trees that they got fencing around, and they're waiting till it gets bigger, and then they may invest in one of the one of these solar ones, and put a thing and fix up with a gate and everything, and just charge it. And that way, the wild deer, the moose that comes through town now and then, and the goats that get loose around town now and then that decimate small trees and stuff, will stay away. Will stay away from it. But yeah, there are. Put trees in. So Mark's going to put trees in. What were you going to do with the was it the squash? The squash.
Yeah, I got lots of squash seeds. I'm going to make sure they're viable, and I'll plant a ton of them into my grow room. And if they all start, I'll wait till I got to see what the timeline is when you should plant it in 5A and 5B. I'm still not sure what zone it is now. I'm in a valley, so I think I'm B or A, whichever one's a little bit colder is where I'm at because I'm in a valley.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna if they germinate, I'm just gonna throw my tiller on the back of the tractor and just make lines wherever I feel like making lines. I am just gonna plant squash. I don't care everywhere. Yeah. I got spaghetti squash, acorn squash, and butternut. Seeds were free. I think the acorn squash ones from last year, they didn't grow. No, the spaghetti squash didn't grow. They didn't germinate. One eventually germinated like a month and a half later. I see this little green thing popping up. I'm like, okay. That was in a grow room. I'm like, we're done. Later, Howie.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to plant them out there. The deer don't really care about them.
Yeah.
And really nothing eats squash because it's a hard fruit. And
cattle love squash.
Who does?
Cows.
I don't have cows. I don't care.
Yeah, well, put it this way: if you get a neighbor who gets a cow and the cow gets loose, they will smell that squash from a quarter mile away.
Right. My one neighbor has a cow. If that cow gets out, it's going to be hanging in my back. It's going to be hanging down by the cabin, and I'll have meat for a year, and he'll never know where his cow went after it devastates my squash. I just want to grow stuff. That's all I want to do. And I'll probably guerrilla garden all over the property and just clear out a small area where it'll get a little more sunlight and keep the weeds down and just plant stuff that'll just keep coming back.
That's my plan right now for across the street. I didn't get a chance to get out there. Things were a little hectic this spring. I have a package of 200 field pumpkins that I was going to plant out there and just let it, go all over and then go out and rototill it under. But I have like 250 seeds that I harvested from the baby. I can't remember. It's baby sugar pie pumpkins.
Right.
I'm going to be planting those out there and the other ones out there as well.
Where'd you get the sugar pies from? The farmer's market?
No, I bought seeds. I bought a small pack of seeds from M.I. Gardner, and I grew them and harvested some. I just harvested take one of those seeds or like 5 of them. Just plant them now in the office there, just to see if they're viable, if they grow, because they may or may not grow. You but you don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, every pumpkin I seed I planted, I think I did like 20 of them. One didn't sprout, and the others I gave a bunch to my daughter to put over on her place. Dipshit didn't water them. He just let them die because he didn't buy them. But the ones I planted, other than the fact when some wild rabbits started nibbling on them and killed a couple of them, but the rest of them, I have a bunch of pumpkins that came out and just gave away. I was just experimenting with it.
Yep, that's all I'm doing. I got neighbors and friends with restaurants and be like, hey, I got 200 pounds of acorn squash or spaghetti squash. You want them? Go get them. You go pick them. Go pick them. I'll hang out with you.
Yeah. And so there's a bunch of just stuff. I'm going to do the same thing out there, just put seeds out there. And my wife gave me a 1 gallon bucket. ice cream bucket full of fava beans.
There you go.
And I planted 6 of them out here in the back, and even with the snow that was on them, and it melted last Saturday, I was out there looking at it, and it's starting to grow again.
Cool.
So when I plant the fava beans over there, they'll probably spread all over the place, because she had them because they were part of cover crops she got.
Right.
And I got some other cover crop, and I'll do patches over there and see how it grows, and then and stuff that grows good that I like, I will plant more of it and get stuff growing over there. And I want to get some alfalfa seeds and do a patch of alfalfa and see how it goes if I just let it go each year and just mow it down from high down to like 18 inches high from tall, and just see how it goes. But yeah, it's anything I can get over there growing that will choke out the weeds by either covering it with like pumpkins and squash, covering it where they it's so dark they don't germinate good or anything else.
Right.
Is better for the soil. And then I just rotate all that greenery back into the soil. But all right, we're cut. Oh wow, we've been here for an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what time you were ending. I was like, okay, I'll keep going. I don't care.
Yeah, I was only going to do an hour, but we just talking about stuff. It's froze. One of the things that everybody really should do is make a list of different type events that are possible in your area. Mark those that are probable. Some that are probable, and then mark those that are, these happen once every 5 years. This happens, and you get the stuff that happens every year. Yeah, winter storms, or scorching desert heat. Or a hurricane comes in every year. Whatever it is for your area that happens, and then you start prepping for those things. But like WW3, okay. I have not seen a WW in my lifetime. My mom did. My grandmother saw it too.
Those too. Yeah, my mom and dad did.
Yeah. So yeah, there are things to. You can look at different things on it. Hang on here. Hang on. Got to get the. I hate it when the stupid computer decides it's going to reboot and changes the size of everything on me. I try, like my Excel spreadsheet for the topics, I try to keep it narrow. And every now and then when the computer gets empty, it goes, puts everything full. It's like, no, I don't want it full. So I'm just going to read over some topics here of the events that I've got scheduled here. Next one is not going to happen in my lifetime. But if Pangea reforms, Pangea,
okay.
you know what that is, right?
Yeah, reforms. That'll happen in about 12 million years when it forms on the Pacific side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. After the super wildfire in your area, after nuclear power plants explode, after the banks are taken over.
You should do that next week.
Well, I got the Pangea next week. Maybe I'll switch those around. After the Long Valley caldera erupts again, that'll wipe out most of the United States. A year and a half. Come on, get here. A year and a half of winter, so no summer 1 year.
Oh,
just winter right on through.
Yeah.
After Florida sinks. Hey, there was a lot of videos about Florida's going to sink. It's called, after the 6,000 year Earth tilt happens, what are your plans? And that's a cycle that the Earth does
Sure.
this thing on it. And that's also when the magnetic poles swap too.
You're gonna do one that says when Guam finally tips over because we put too much military there.
I haven't heard that one.
Come on, I'll pull that one up again. A senator actually said that.
Yeah. After the insect invasion, after the micronova event, after ET arrives, after Yellowstone erupts, after a year and a half of hot summer, just the opposite, no winter. After the Mississippi fault splits, sort of like what's going on over there. That's based on what's going on over in Africa, where one fault line is, fracturing and stuff now. All right. After the gold is confiscated, what are your plans? After all silver is confiscated. I'm not going to say who keyed this one in. I forgot to put the person on, but the person's in the chat. After the time dimensional shift. So that one was recommended. That was actually recommended by someone here.
I may have to skip a couple of those because it's just like
some of these are just they're theories out there, and I've seen people talk about this, and it's like, okay, we're going to poke holes in your thing.
No, they're not theories; they're hypotheses. A theory is a proven theorem. A hypothesis is a good guess, but constantly being asked. So, real quick, Hank Johnson, U.S. Congressman in 2010, said that Guam could tip over due to overpopulation from military buildup. Hank Johnson. Fact check.
What party? What party?
I'm guessing Democrat, but doesn't say. But a U.S. congressman made a controversial comment in 2010 during a hearing expressing concern that Guam could tip over due to overpopulation from military buildup.
Did he get reelected?
Ridiculed, but his office later claimed that he was using a metaphor to highlight potential issues related to the island's population increase. Okay.
Yeah. Did he get reelected?
I don't even know if he's still alive. Hank Johnson, he's probably been in his Congress seat for 100 years.
All right. Some of the other ones, after FEMA detainment camps start up. There were a lot of people talking about that, 6 years ago. After just a European war starts.
He was a Democrat from Georgia.
That explains it.
Yeah, it explains everything.
So this next one is not a WW. It's just an all European war starts. After holy wars start. After super hurricane hits America. After an asteroid hits America or hits anywhere in the world. After cloning becomes mandatory. After the WHO demands that everybody gets chipped. After a zombie infection spreads across the world. After they force cryptocurrency on you. After they come for all the weapons in the United States, what are your plans? After a planetoid is spotted heading towards Earth. I got some blank ones in here. Okay, here we go. After the East Coast mega tsunami hits. Wait a minute. Did I already do that one? I gotta check the highlight on that one to do that one. I think I already do that. After a year-long famine, what are your plans? And that's the last of the ones I got in here right now. But if you guys have any of these ridiculous theories / I can't forget to pronounce the word right now. Yeah, so, send me ideas for these things so we can blow some of these out of the water. I'm looking. I did put that one in there twice. Okay, somehow it got in there twice. So that's this year, and the next one is 9 months later. Okay, I gotta redo that, and I got to delete that one. There we go. Are there movies about a lot of these things? Metaphor my back. Yeah. Some of these they have made these in some different things in the movies. The asteroid, there was Armageddon, there was Deep Impact. For that, the planetoid one, there was a movie back 30 years ago. I think it went direct to video of a planetoid coming at the Earth, and it turns out the last minute it just barely misses, but there's still catastrophic stuff going on. Yeah, 2012 is a core warm up one. I may throw that in there for one if the 2012 event actually happens. Well, I'm going to be buying me one of them old Russian diesel submarines, and I'm going to be going out, and when the waves start hitting, I'm just going to settle down a little bit and sit there for a while. Prepper 10, 10, 11, 10, 13, yes. Day after tomorrow is I may do a day after tomorrow.
That's with the super hurricane that has such a low pressure system, everybody froze to death. That one, or is that the nuclear one?
No, a day after tomorrow is when the Atlantic over something or other current stops, and all of a sudden everything so there's no heat going back up the East Coast. It just stopped, and all the cold weather all came.
Yeah, that was the one where the guy's like trying to rescue his son up in New York City with the library, and they're burning the textbooks. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So
a little bit hokey, but okay.
I may put some of these up there. Let me just go over here real quick. Sorry. There we go. Throw up in here. Okay, where are we at? Super. After cloning, where's the blank one? Here's a blank one. Okay, so I'm gonna put down 2012 day after tomorrow. What was the other one we mentioned? Deep Impact. Already got the asteroid impact there.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno. He's got you got the fire thing.
There was another one in here I saw. I got the mega volcano going off. One.
What about a mega tsunami?
I got that. I got the East Coast mega tsunami. That is actually a theory based off the islands there off of Portugal. The one, if it, it has slippage on the one side, and if it goes, they say it's going to cause a major tsunami across over here. 2012 Deep Impact. Got that one already. Got Day After Tomorrow.
War of the Worlds. Alien abductions. Yeah.
Yeah. San Andreas. Yeah. Well, San Andreas, I put it on the Mississippi River because there is some people talking about the Mississippi River. There's a fault under the Mississippi River that they say it's going to go and it's going to split the country a little bit. All right, folks. So actually coming up here. So Monday, there we go. Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, we're going to be talking about pre-cooked meals in a jar. And we're going to be talking about things you can, different meals and stuff that are easy to make in a jar. And all you got to do is heat it back up again. Tuesday is, can you survive? Can you survive 3 months, no power? All right. And we're not just talking your house, we're talking your area. 3 months, no power. And then, okay, next Friday is the topic is too much, too much electronics and farm equipment. How's it affecting farmers and small homesteaders and stuff. And then, of course, next Saturday is going to be after Pangea reform. So Mark wants me to switch it with which one? The super wildfire or the nuclear power plants? Or
crap, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I'll have to hit rewind and listen to it again.
Yeah. So I went down, I talked about, Pangea, the super wildfire, nuclear power plants explode after the banks are taken over, and the Long Valley caldera erupts in the 1.5-year winter. So, well, I'll probably just run with Pangea, because most people, you mention Pangea and people go, what's that? So others are going, yes, it's going to reform, it's going to do this.
Yeah, not in my lifetime or my kid's lifetime, or maybe for another 100,000 years or more.
Yeah. All righty. So let me go ahead and take that one off. There we go. All right. So that's what's coming up, folks. Remember, stay happy no matter what life throws at you, including these crazy, stupid theories or assumptions that people are making about going to happen. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish like trying to body surf on a frozen lake. And keep adding to your preps: food, water, medicine, clothing, learn a new skill, and make a plan. Work on your plans, like a 5-year plan. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Year 1, how much stuff you want to have. Year 2, make a 5-year plan of how much you may want to accumulate each year as far as preps and equipment. All right. Okay, everyone. So we'll see you Monday on Kent Patton Family Compound for Meals in a Jar. Take care, everyone.
Hey, have a good night.